Hello people. Declaration and reclaimer first, I think that's called. This is not a real gun. This is a water gel pistol. And this is about, you will see from the title, about the assembly of a customized, I suppose, SnubNose BladeRunner Blaster. I modeled and I made for myself. The file is already on Thingiverse. If you want, you can go find it yourself. The name is DONW999, and it's probably going to be pretty long, and please bear with me. I'll try to explain the techniques, some of the techniques, and other things that I made. This is my first video I uploaded to YouTube for a long time, and I'm very nervous, so excuse me for that too, I guess. Tools you will need: some screwdrivers, oh gosh, Allen key head. Oh, by the way, I'm using iPhone, the FaceTime camera, so if it doesn't show very clearly, please excuse that too. Where do we start? I suppose we'll just start with the base itself. As you can see, this is the piston, and that's the rod to connect to the hammer, which it works. This pistol, you will find a picture of it on the Thingiverse group. Then you will find, I suppose you have to find it yourself if you want, because this is sold in China. I'm not sure if it can be sold anywhere else, or you can go for a different thing, or a different similar thing that you can modify yourself. I mean, if you're a maker, then you know what I'm talking about here. This thing is funny, it's interesting, is that the trigger actually works while the cylinder will rotate, but the hammer have to be cocked independently in order to actually fire anything. This is a cylinder. It's pretty heavy, it's metal, and this is the, so to speak, cartridge. It's empty, using water gel balls. If I'm not making much sense, I'm sorry. Anyway, that's the gist of it. The open up works as well. You can go down, although it's opposite direction. Someone pointed out on Facebook to me that the cylinder open latch actually supposed to be pushed forward instead of pushing backwards, but you know, this is a prop. It doesn't really matter, does it? But as long as it works, I think that's pretty good looking. What did I say? I disassembled the. Anybody who knows anything about revolvers, there is a pin going here that actually connects to the ejector, so to speak, the ejector pin. And that one is disconnected. Now I'll reinstall it later when I actually chop it down a little bit and make a Phillips screw head of it. Otherwise, now it's just as what it is. I'm not sure where do I go from here actually. Yes. This thing, as you can see, is being modified quite heavily. For example, the barrel. This is not the stock barrel. This is something I modeled on software. So the barrel itself can come off with a screw at this location. It's a long cross pin screw kind of. That's why you see this notch on top. It will go in, and the screw go across, and it will lock in. The top rail, there's no rail, but it's let's just, so to speak, call it a rail at the moment. There is the rear sight at this location. The whole thing got grinded off, and you can see because the nature of the blaster, the trigger guard is all sawed off from there to there, and that the reason I choose this is because I found that the location of the screw is just so convenient that you can fit another trigger at this right where the screw goes in. So I put a little spring behind it, so it kind of is springy, although it's not very strong, but you know, it's just for show anyway. This one is the real trigger. Okay. What else? There is a lot of screw going into this thing. The not so complete list is actually in the file of on Thingiverse. You can look through that for yourself. And I suppose. Oh yeah. Before we start, I'll just you know, try to introduce you to this thing. The bottom of it is a PLA print of a thumb screw kind of thing, with a hole at the center that you can fit a whatever kind of screw that you want, glue it in. I just use CA glue or super glue or Gorilla Glue or 502, 401, whatever you call it. And this screw itself, I use a grinder to actually grind a few slots. You can see, oops, there's where the center is. And this makes a tap. Anyway, the thing that you make threads. I can't remember what's it called now. I'm too nervous for it. This thing works pretty good. If you don't have a proper tab, yes, proper tab, you can make one of these relatively easily. Then make one of these, and then you can just control how far and how fast that you thread your plastic. Because if you use electronic appliances, they may go too fast for certain prints and melts and all that. This you can control the speed with your hand, Although you might want to adjust the head a bit, because this one I didn't really sand it, so it doesn't really it's not very comfortable. Although it works, but it's not very comfortable. Anyway, this is a tool that I used to thread all the holes that I needed. So if we oh yeah, let's go for this. There are a few holes that you have to make to this, additional to the chopping off of the trigger guard and all that, and this bit. For example, there is an additional hole right here that you need to add in order to fit the other side cover, to secure the other side cover. And also for this side, there are two holes, just like the real prop. They drill two holes onto the cylinder ejection arm. Here, you need to drill two holes. This part itself, this part is zinc alloy. So you might want to find something that can actually drill through it relatively simple and easier. And make sure you drill it at the right place, otherwise it will not go in properly. I have to modify my a little bit in order to actually make it fit, because I couldn't drill it well. Oh, there's another two holes here. These two you see are not on the same line, because obviously this ejection arm will rotate, and the other one is actually to secure the trigger guard. You have two holes on it. Yeah. Personally, me, after doing this, I just found that all I need is actually one screw on the top, this one here, in the plastic. You'll see when I try to assemble it. Sorry, I'm a little bit, don't know what happened today. I'm a bit allergic to something, so I'm about this. I think the rest will be, you know, explained as we go along with it. Because this thing is not very good quality, so some part of it is already broken. For example, the screw hold for the cylinder in the grip is already split, but doesn't really matter. I'll just start assembling 2 screws to secure that. That's not additional. It's just you know, it's just from the toy itself. Okay, it is a toy. Let's just call it what it is. It's just a toy gun. What they say, the PSI, you might ask on this thing. I can't test it, but I tried it when I first got it. It's when it's brand new, about this distance, shooting my back of my hand with a water jelly ball, by the way. It just basically, it barely stings. So it's really, really not very strong. Okay, I suppose we can just start with securing the grip onto it. It's just 2 shells. So go in to, you know, you put that on, so it will actually secure the gut of the whole thing in there. There are 3 screws on this. 1, 2 down there somewhere, and another one down there. Yeah. It's funny that in China, a lot of people, the government does not allow people to own any, you know, firearms at all, and there are so many people trying to circumvent that kind of restriction by thinking of things like this. I don't really know who actually invented such a thing. I mean, the water jelly ball thing, water gel ball, not jelly ball, water gel ball thing. But it's basically a good substitute for then BB, for example, because it's really weak and it shoots more or less the same, and people actually, because there's no such restrictions at the moment, so people modifying them more look like real guns most of the time. Personally, I'm a big gun person. I like real guns, but obviously I don't have the possibility to actually to play with any of them here. What else? Yes, let's go forward. The grip, all right, yeah, the grip is already been modified at this location. That's where the middle finger goes on top of it. It used to be closed, and now it's opened up in a slot a little bit. You might ask that why there's no screw for the trigger guard that go from this way. No, you don't really need it, because if you modify it correctly, it'll just fit in right like that. It won't go anywhere. Okay. Like such, you just fit 1 screw on top. Where's the screw? There it is. And oh, sorry. Let's see. It's interesting that I designed it that the top of the screw head actually protrude out from this position. It's not flush with the trigger guard itself, because there's another reason for it. You will see where the light up feature is. Meanwhile, there is a screw I need to secure from, but down here where the secondary trigger is. I forgot to put that in. You'll find. No, don't worry about it. It's not important. And this here, I'll put this down for now. This is the barrel I made, actually. This piece is a tent pole, 8mm inner diameter 10 pole aluminium. This thing has the exact dimension for this piece that go in. I glued it back in because on the original barrel there is the top rail for the front side and all that, and inside there is another piece of plastic tube with a spring at the front that actually can push this inner barrel, so to speak, back and forth a little bit. The reason for that is because you might be able to see this here. This is the back where the cylinder, there is a tube going from top of here and go up to here. And this is the, where, so to speak, the ejector of air. This thing, when you press the hammer down, it will actually move forward a little bit, and it will press onto the cartridge to make a seal at the back, and that will push the cartridge forward a little bit, and it will go against of that spring-loaded linear barrel to make another seal at the front. In theory, it's a brilliant idea, I think, engineeringly speaking, but it doesn't really work well because the tolerance, the material, and all that. But that's another topic. We'll just put that in. It's got a shape like such. Yeah. You don't have to worry about the hole on the top. If you want, you can fill it up and make it look pretty and all that, but it'll be covered up, and there will be screws to actually go securing that from that cross hole on top of that. My wife is looking at me for some reason. I don't know what she's thinking about. She won't ask me something, but anyway, this is what it looked like. Yeah. And I think the next thing will go up is this. These things. People know anything about, you know, the BladeRunner Blaster, and you will know where these goes and what these for. I don't know what they for, but on the real prop is piece of the cartridge, no, not cartridge, the mag well of that rifle on top. I can't remember what's it called, but it's the Steyr rifle. But basically it's for the ease of print, I separated this, for lack of a better word, box. So it's all empty inside, and there are 3 holes. My personal wish is that you make them, you know, the, so to speak, laser, and to kind of light up feature for some whatever reason. This is red and 2 maybe green lights, or maybe even blue and red, no, blue and green light flashing each other kind of thing. There'll be a other thing. I haven't got around to actually do that. I don't know how yet, actually, to be honest. But anyway, this thing can come off, can open up. You can fit whatever things you want inside. You can hide your ring in that as well if you want to propose with a, you know, BladeRunner obsessed wife. Sorry, bad joke probably. Yeah, and this thing will fit in there. There is a slot at the back. I will actually, you see that these 2 holes. Can you see it? Yeah, these 2 holes are corresponding to the trigger guard hole, the protruding screw head. That's where why the screw head protrudes, because it uses that as the position fixing. Yeah, basically put that in, so fit in there quite well. My original idea is that if you want, you can make another sort of LED on the side of this to make it, you know, like a, for example, like a battery charge, to display the charge of the battery. You know, few lines to hollow this piece out, hollow this piece out, and then put a transparent kind of thing in there on top of it, and put an LED that can flash backwards and forwards and make it look like it's indicating how much battery is left, because it's future weapon, right? So a future pistol, and you're supposed to use electricity for everything in that kind of time. And this ledge here is wide enough and deep enough right away to actually fit this piece here. So you just fit that in. Yeah. There are holes actually modeled into the barrel and everywhere that you can fit the screw in. This is another thing I sort of personally made. I think it's interesting, in my opinion, my design. I'm just glowing on it. Sorry, bad English, I guess. Anyway, this is Phillips screw at the top. This back from about there, from there to there, is all 3D print part. It's hollow at the back, all the way to the Phillips screw head. So because it's plastic and it won't really, even glue it, it won't really hold very well. So you can use a screwdriver to actually go in, hold the metal, and then you still can, drive it quite well, like such. Okay, that is pretty much secured on it. Although there is another piece of feature that actually help to actually secure this thing better on top of the whole thing. Let me think. Oh yeah. This will be will be for now. Then we have to go for something else, because that's the next step, is actually going for the charging handle for the rifle parts. Because this have to go on top of the top before you actually can close it up with this thing. We will see. This is, you find it kind of looking kind of easy. It's shiny because it's aluminium foil, it's not real metal. This on top of the, so to speak, the firing pin is a separate piece that you glue on. And this part for strength, designing it, I used 3 part, 2 for print, 1 metal rod. How it works is, let's see, can't even tell now which end is which end. Oh yeah, anyway, in the file you will find a little rod like this that have a opening on one side, and another piece of plastic that actually can fit into it. That's where this goes in. That's you slot it in, glued it up, slot it in to make it rigid. And because it's hollow, you fit a 2 millimeter thick, 2 millimeter diameter welding filler rod into it, stainless steel filler rod into it. So this thing will not probably break for whatever reason that you want to play with, right? And this piece, the charging handle itself, I have a hole just fitting to that. Go in. We'll move such. And here there is a crosshead screw. Same idea with the barrel. You can actually see. Go in. There's the slot for crosshead screw. Put that in. That's the back of the charging handle. No, the bolt. The back of the bolt. I chose one of these. This is an M3, about 1 centimeter screw, Phillips screw, because the head is too round, and design on this is not deep enough. I don't want it to be too shallow because I want the thickness to hold this in, so I have to flatten the head a little bit. But the thread still works. Not the thread, the crosshead still works. Go in. Now it's all flush. There, it's all flush. Yeah, can you see? Now this whole thing basically just one piece, pretty strong. Yeah. And this is explained, but you don't have to put it in right away. But I think it will be actually better to actually put it in now. What am I talking about, really? But anyway, yeah, like such. It's pretty tight tolerance, so you might want to stand off to whatever necessary. This doesn't spin like the real prop, but I don't think it's necessary, and it can't really spin in order to make it fit kind of this large opening to make it look good. So I decided to make it, you know, stationary, kind of not spinning, although it still can pull. And okay, screws for front sights. I use a round top, bubble top, Philip, and this back screw is kind of special. You see there's a slot on top of it. That's where the screw in the middle on the top actually goes into. So on a real prop, I don't think you actually pull the bolt backwards very far, because the control is actually at this location where the, so to speak, the safety goes. I wanted to be actually be able to pull backwards rather further than the real prop, so it actually, you know, make more of a visual sense, I suppose. That's why I designed this screw actually on top will go into this slot here, and so the whole range of the bolt increases. And now I need to go in. By the way, these holes all tapped. I mean, I've heard like Bill and Adam Savage both say that you probably don't need to thread these plastics, these PLA or whatever. Personally, I find it's actually better you thread it in order to actually make it, you know, work better, other than you just go directly with screw and you may split the print, really. I don't know if it's my my plastic is not good enough, or my print setting and all that, but threading it, you know, make it like a proper engineering project, I think is a better idea to actually go. Same idea, by the way. Going forward, same idea with the real prop, that 2 screws on each side of this location. Screw that to secure the whole thing on top of the barrel. Go in a little bit. Oh yeah, it's called pre-threading. Yeah, or tapping, if you like. Yeah. This thing the hammer have to go down in order to actually for this thing to hold in, because the size of this thing is just too small. So holding the entire back part of from about here to here, there's only this tiny little bit of a plastic, as well as the back. You can see it there. So this piece of plastic here actually will go against the firing pin on the real gun, and blocking it. So, but that's the location anyway. It's not real, right? It's not for real. And okay. Right. Okay, that the top is halfway there being secured. Now you can actually drop the hammer. So it's the same. And from there, I suppose we need to assemble this piece. There is a larger screw. This is M4, by the way. All the screws I've been using from this point backwards are all M3s, I think, apart from the default screws from the pistol itself. This is M4 now. Pre-threading it. This hole will go into the hole that I was talking about. You need to drill on top of on the side of the pistol. And this piece have a hole inside of it on it as well, and we'll go through. There is a slot to actually cover it up as a position holder. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you that. There is another hole in the front of that battery charger LED group thingy. Will go into a screw hole on the original toy. It's located there. That's also where this hole will cover up using the famous, nobody knows what it is for, kind of button right there. Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting stuff. This thing is going into this location. This is also the same way as this back piece is print. There's a hole and an M3 screw glued into it. So whoops, half an hour. Gosh, I'm slow, aren't I? Yeah. Oh, sorry. This way is better. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to actually upload this video now, but okay. So cover up pretty good. This thing, the charging handle have to go properly seated back in to the location in order to actually drop down. This same principle: screw, glue, and print. This thing I didn't really thought about it through very well when I actually designing it, so it's basically I'm just using my hand to, you can modify this piece whatever you like, however you like. That's where it goes. We'll go into that hole I was talking about on the toy, and now you can actually put the cylinder back in. Because you want to cover up the other side of the, yeah, like this. That's where this go in, this thing go up. M4 screw as well. Can you tell I'm nervous? If you can, then please do excuse me. And if you can't, then there's nothing I can do. I'm sorry. You see here, this location, but here I need to light it down now. Otherwise it's kind of hard to actually. I think these screws are the most secure because actually going against metal instead of plastic. Okay, that's what it looks like. See, could you drop and go in? But I mean, of course, I have to, put that ejector thing back into it in order to actually keep it fixed. But anyway, digress. Oh, forgot this screw right here. Forgot to tap it. Right, that's pretty much all finished. Just a few decorative parts. The, so to speak, what's that called again? Safety, yeah. Rifle safety thingy. Yeah. This piece, I did not design a fixed position for it. You can put a pin at the back and then hold it into the, or whatever mechanics you can think of to actually make it, stay as it is. But I just, hey, it's a work in progress, okay? So, okay. The back strap, I call it the top, back strap top. You can see I drilled two, these are the holes that I have to drill on the pistol as well. I originally thought about using one screw in the middle, but it's because the mold is actually open two separate pieces on the left and right equally, so it's not a good idea to drill in the middle. But you will see later I had to make compromises for that. So I drilled two holes on the side. The back strap will have two holes for screw. Yep, screwed up, screwed in like such, and the grip bottom plate. I drilled two holes. The design is actually go for an M5 and M4 screw, but I don't know. Somewhere along the line, I think because the reality of the plastic, it's just not gonna work out very well. So I'm going for two M4s at the moment. Later on, I might actually, modify it into 3 screw set, 2 in the front kind of thing, or 2 in the back kind of thing. So I will actually go secure it into the actual grip itself. So at the moment, it doesn't really, secure very tightly. It's kind of loose, really rather loose. And this gripplet thing, not sure what it is actually. Does anybody know what it is? On the real thing, original prop, there is LED in the front, LED at the back. I don't think they light up anyway, but there is a 5mm hole for a 5mm LED if you want to put on it. Because I'm really finished yet, so I'm sort of keeping it as it is, not glued in. This paper clip, 1mm thick paper clip. Drill holes, tap it in, and glue it up. So, two holes just not pre-drilled. These are, you have to drill themselves. You have to find the location for yourself. Yeah. Okay. Like such. Can you see? Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. And last but not least, this thing is a rail. It's a Picatinny rail, 3D printed as well. I did this because on the design, this is supposed to be a credit to a ArtStation user. Sorry, I can't remember his name or her name. Is just I put it in the Thingiverse description. I think it's pretty good looking for a SnubNose revolver because that one have a suppressor in the front, a big sight, a laser sight on the back. That's for the laser sight. And there it is. Okay, I'm planning to actually buy a real sort of a small tactical laser kind of thing, that with a pressure switch that will route it somewhere on the grip. The grip is not finished as well. I posted some photos on Facebook in Prop Tart that I have some grid patterns of for the grip. I think I'll go for the third one, like most of people suggests, because you know when you're using it, the fingers won't actually go into those locations on top, so it won't really make you uncomfortable. Anyway, that's that. The whole thing still works, kinda. Yeah. Oh, just take this off and it'll just drop off anyway. You can't see it, but you'll hear it. Actually, the cylinder spins. This on the top is kind of tight, so you have to drop the hammer first, of course. Actually, in order to actually pull this thing out. See, it will stop right there, but it will hold, and it's a lot longer. Pulling back a lot further than the real prop, I think. Actually, mine is a little tight because the bottom bit is not very smooth and all, so you might want to send yours a little bit further than mine. But that's that. And gosh, 3/4 of an hour. Oh gosh, it's falling off. See what I'm talking about? Not very good at the moment. Oh yeah, feature when the hammer is down. No, when the hammer is cocked, the cylinder can't open, so you have to drop the hammer first for it to come down. And again, to make it very clear, this is not real. This is water gel. Or if you can find a 357 Magnum 2-inch barrel BB pistol, you can do this as well, I suppose. Or if you want, really sacrifice to the prop god, go for real. Remember to make it, non-functional. Yeah, there's that. Okay, I think that's about it. Questions, comments, or dislikes, all welcome. This is, again, first time trying to make such things, and it taking this long, sorry. Yeah, if you like it, share it, because making internet free is very important, I think. Okay. What else? Nothing for now. Signing off. I guess I'll have to fix this. Alright, have a good time. Bye-bye. Bye.